In our last session, the party managed to dispatch or at least render unconscious their guide to this camp piece, so to speak of. Despite everything going on, there were some concerns about leaving the Hellhound just snoozing there. And perhaps for the better part, they decide to let Arya volunteer to stay behind in case something happens. Zoltan is not sure whether he can issue any commands with regards to the Hellhounds due to the majority. However, he is able to bring them along to witness the other experiments along the way. One of them, he explains the osmosis experiment as being a saturated environment of shadow this side of the slope, the other presumably being the counterpart. They encounter strange shapes in this region of shadow, which they are told are dark anima or remnants of experiments, the unsuccessful ones. The group can see some of the remains left behind by the people, and Haze collects some of it. It feels strange to touch when Balasar does experiment, sensing his own warmth being drawn away by it. Zoltan is able to dismiss it to head back off when Balasar fails to break the grip, so at least that is established. He leads them then on to the experiment that involves sensory deprivation. While there's a further talk on how to deal with the directors. The sensory deprivation is apparently an entire zone in itself, and Verity enters with the help of rope to enable him to find his way back. Inside, he can't see, but does stumble into other presence, one which appears to be some kind of a blind old man of some kind, half delusional, half panicky, and not able to be of much use. There's more concerns again of what to do with this old man now that they have taken him out. And as the ethical debate is going on, Alara presses that they do have other concerns to worry about. The party is slightly divided on this aspect, but then as they proceed on towards the skull of what was the dead god on which they are standing, Sultan warns them that the two others are present, and in fact, Sin Snuffer Tomosker and Sin Snuffer Harvest don't seem to be expecting the group's anticipation, but they are formal and polite to Verity and Haze, whom they still regard as harmonium business when Verity speaks. Verity makes a strong stance in announcing that they are under arrest for suspicion against harmonium conduct and illegal experiments, at which point they agree to settle this elsewhere privately. The four head off, vanishing from a group's perceptions as they do, and Zoltan then quickly turns around to the others, asking them how familiar they are with Verity or how trustworthy they are. Zoltan expresses concerns that Verity might decide to drop anything, and the group manages to pick up that Zoltan, despite what he might seem to be and what he might say, does indeed have some vested interest in shutting down this experiment. Diplomacy goes slightly awkwardly as the group realizes that Zoltan may not be able to help to the extent of what may come if it comes to blows with the two other directors. However, he does suggest some means by which they might negate each other's influences, and he gives Balasar a package with certain instructions only to be opened upon return to Sigil. How or whether this will help in this case remains to be seen, but Zoltan asks him that to deliver it according to the instructions. Meanwhile, Verity and Haze have their own discussion with the group on the highest peak of this dead god, which turns out to be its belly, modified into concentric rings of terraces, on which some kind of vineyards are being grown, and they can see people working here. People, apparently ex-criminals or convicts, sentenced for the death row and put to new good use, at least according to the two directors. Tomosco and Harvest explained that they have not received any official orders to stop, and thus they have continued. However, they are unhappy at the notion that Zoltan has been letting primes in and resulting in the whole mess of today. They try to convince Verity about their efforts being noble at trying to save those who would be otherwise destined for the gallows. But Verity expressed doubts at this. One of them is called over, a burly orc by the name of Jotlat Jawbreaker, if he still acknowledges that. And Verity has a brief conversation, which learning that he's less angry now, seems to have no issue with doing normal work. But when asked whether he would go through the process again, Jotlat simply claims that whatever worked for him worked, and it's inconclusive, as if whether it might work better for others. Tomosco and Harvest, admonished by Verity, over the test reports that they've been keeping track of, with a suggestion that they should hand it over to the mercy killer Factol Malin. There's several other concerns being raised here, that being of the correspondence, the missing correspondence of Navar Strathburn, the governor, presumably gone off to Mechanus now. When they return, there is some consensus between Zoltan, Harvest, and Tomosco that some fault does lie in that region as well. With that as such, Verity, Haze, and the others are given leave to return back to Sigil by the director's manipulation of this current plane. Some of the agendas now is to find the imp familiar belonging to Zoltan by the name of Zigzag and instruct it to stop with whatever efforts it's doing. Tomosco and Harvest have no further need for a messenger or a gate jumper for the time being if the experiments are halted until further clarification. They suggest that the group bring the Hellhound Sargal with them as the main link to return to this place, unless they can find another portal key. The group returns to Sigil, taking account of their situation. It is pretty dark now. It seems quite a few hours have passed since they last saw Sahil, and he expresses some exasperation that, again, the group seems to be on the other side of Sigil from where he is. They arrive in the prison, in the ladies' ward, and Sahil will make his way over slowly but surely. Meanwhile, the group has to decide how to hold up from the night, seeing that Tia has apparently gone off to sleep. And this is where we continue for today. Can everyone sound out?
Yep.
Yosh!
Here.
Hi.
All right. So, who wants to go first?
Verity.
Dark team?
I think Haze and Verity are just staying in the prison, so
Yeah, so
That's
maybe
it.
Dark team.
Yeah.
Settle your like accommodations.
Balasar is gonna go up to Rose and Alara and just be like, "So, is anyone paying for our lodging?" And he motions to Fira and himself.
I can pay for Fira.
Because if not,
What the heck was that?
I don't know.
It's the fan.
Hang on.
It's a wah pedal.
Advanced Robo Rose.
wow. All right.
Ira looks around and says, "But you won't pay for Balasar?"
No offense, but he hasn't exactly been the best person. And I'm not obligated to because he's not part of my crew, technically.
Then it's a long walk back.
I'd rather not split up, Fiora says. Balasar will find a place, I'm sure we will. She turns to Alara and Rose. I think we've taken up enough of each other's time. It's been a really long day.
I agree.
That's an understatement.
Wait, did we get pointed to a place by Verity?
We are like at the place. I think,
Are
like
we-
right
are we at
outside.
the place?
You're
Like-
outside the prison. Okay,
we're
what Verity can point out is probably the most logical place to go to would be the inn known as the 12 Factols. This is ladies' ward number 17.
Restaurant and tavern. Okay.
Yeah, it's underground. It's a fairly lively place, not so upmarket, and the main customers seem to be adventurers of some kind.
Oh, okay. So how much? So I'm guessing we go there and then we figure out how much it's gonna cost.
Okay.
I think Verity can tell you that.
From what you can tell, like they do not deal with individuals. Rather, they just like one room is a flat rate of 1 gold a night.
Oh, that's okay.
If
Yeah,
you
we can pay
if
for
you can
everyone.
make a lot, you have the choice of like hammocks, bunks, bed rolls, beds, and others. All that. But it's
So
basically,
it's like those big dormitories
Yeah,
for
it's-
like
it's-
community.
but basically,
dorm.
if you can stuff a whole bunch of people in, they don't care. It just goes by the rule.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
easy. Yeah. 1 gold is fine.
Fine, my ass.
Until you don't have
I'm
money.
poor as fuck.
No, it's 1 gold for the room. Like, that is okay.
No, it's not.
Rose is
That's
gonna
expensive.
comment to Balasar. She's just gonna say, no one's gonna help you if you keep talking like that.
Ooh.
Look, I'm not here to get along with you lot, but I am here to help you.
Fira looks up. Does the place have food and water?
Verity?
Yes. Of course, you have to pay for the extra things, but they do have food.
Alasar, I would like food and water. I'm not sure about you.
That would be nice right about now.
All right, let's go then together.
Before you guys head off, Verity will salute to you and say, "Thank you very much, everyone, for your help today. May you have a safe journey.
I
I
nod.
think the investigation should be over for this part."
Arya goes, oh, thank goodness, my hooves are hurting.
Verity
Oh,
gives a
Arya.
little pat, and then he speaks to you guys as well. Well, I'll see you all maybe sometime again. Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Wait,
Huh?
are you leaving? Why do you make it sound like you're leaving and we're not going to see each other again?
Well, we found the murderers, also to speak, and I'll look into it further. Well, Haze, will you be accompanying them tomorrow to the imp place? To find the imp?
Don't talk like all this is over. There's still more of this investigation to come. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but at any rate, Haze will meet up with you tomorrow.
Hayes thinks for a while. This one believes that perhaps I'm the imp.
Sorry, you cut off there.
Yeah, you cut off.
Perhaps what?
This they will not need our assistance to find the imp. After we give
But-
however, we should find the missing governor.
Yes, but one of us will have to take care of Zagal.
Huh? What?
Haze thinks for a bit. And Sakal.
What do I do now?
Established where paying.
Is there enough space for Zagal if I rent a room? How big is the room?
Okay. As
No,
in
like,
at
It'd
the
be better.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
okay, as in the 12 factals.
Yeah.
Well, Sagal could fit quite easily into a room since they rent it out just by the room.
Mm-hmm. But he will be filling up the entire room.
No, it's
One
bigger
gold,
than that.
one gold is huge, you know. That has to be like a penthouse room.
It's
No, as
we're
in,
in
like,
the ladies' ward.
The room has a lot of space, but it's quite barren because basically, like, they
Yeah.
don't put any furniture there because they expect you to fill up whatever, however you want it to.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean, one gold still. That has to be like
In
a
Sagal's
huge
case,
area.
Like, it's a lot better to just have him set up in the prison.
Yeah.
I can make myself smaller if I want, if you want.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
you
prison
can
is
do
more
that?
secure. Better for important persons such as himself.
Okay.
What do you say?
Like, it's a lot better for us to keep him in the prison, no?
Oh, don't keep the doggy in the pound. It's so mean.
Because that's the safest place, and he's a person of great importance.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. You can become smaller, you say, Zagal?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hayes does bring up a point. Well, I'll be staying in the prison tonight anyway, so Zagal can follow us, me and Hayes. Is that alright with you?
Whatever you say.
None of my business.
Alright then. Well, we'll be seeing you in the morning, Hayes and Zagal. I will have to look into the matter. Good night, everyone.
Bye, says Fira.
So
Don't die tomorrow. Just walk off. Let's get the fuck out.
Rose will be good night as well.
We out.
Yay! 12 factor.
Okay. So which group do I go with first?
I want to see a 12 factor restaurant. Tavern.
Okay. Oh boy, I forgot to screenshot this. Give me a moment.
Oh god. A screenshot.
Of what?
I
Ooh.
forgot to load this image.
Ooh, Sha.
Hmm.
How your second screen helping you out with all the tabs for
Yeah,
all
hang on. Let me take a picture of this.
It feels good, right? It feels good, man.
It feels good, man.
It feels good, man.
Alright, so I posted a picture there.
Alright.
The 12 factals is sometimes also called the doorway into the mountain.
What the fuck?
It is a restaurant and tavern underneath the city streets near Dossey Street. The entrance leads down many flights of steps from a dirty courtyard into an arched and vaulted chamber called the Storm Hall. And in this area, okay, the first thing you enter is the entrance hall itself, where you can see numerous tables seated around. Underground, it is much warmer than above, and the smells here have poor ventilation, but most of it is from food and oil and roasting and spilled drink. And the patrons here are talking in generally louder, like more vibrant tones. The rest of the ladies' ward that you walk through, everyone more or less kept to their own business, but here you can make out adventuring groups of a much more broader range nature than others. Like you can make out faction symbols being brandished around the place as well. There's no one seems particularly interested in raising any trouble here. In the far end of the kitchen, there appears to be some kind of a large stove of some kind when the doors do open and close. And a server greets you. Welcome to the 12 Factals. Are you new to Sigil? A slightly older man of some kind.
We've been here for about 3 days.
Right, new then. You've come to the right place. 12 Factals is not just...
Chop sound.
Okay.
What?
The 12 Factals is not just a rest and retreat. Here you can also mingle around the locals, and if you'd like to take a look at the 12 Factals Hall after it was named, feel free by all means. The Foundation Stones area in the Deep Hall was where the 12 Factals once banded together to petition the Lady to remove a troublesome 13th. And you'll see their likeness in the 12 Factals Hall. The storage is just past that, where you'll keep your belongings for the night, or you can bring them with you to the rooms, which are down below in the deep halls. Lodging is 1 gold a night for a room that, well, seems like it can take in a lot of you. Don't worry about dimensions. Furnishings are sparse, but we can provide on request bunks if you want them, or hammocks, bedrolls, whatever takes your fancy. We just request that you don't go beyond the storage area, because that goes further on to under Sigil in certain parts. Some adventurers find it part of the charm, but if you're new here, that's probably not the best idea. Anything else?
No? That would be good.
Could you
That's
repeat
a lot
that,
of information.
but slower?
Perhaps it would be easier if you had like a map, a little
pamphlet?
You are here pamphleting.
We don't print things, goodness knows. Okay, look, this is the entrance hall. You just sit and dine and enjoy the drinks.
How much for food?
Food standard rate. A meal will be, how heavy a meal you looking for? You want simple things like wine
Knock
and
me out for
cheese,
the
or
night.
you want like roasted? Okay, roast and such will be he looks over the group. Who is hungry here?
You could all use
Rose
a
is-
meal.
Rose is going to pick. She has a good berry. She's gonna shove it into what Balassa's mouth, and then she's gonna say,
You
"Follow."
can't reach Balasar's mouth. What are you talking
Come down here. Come down here. Hey, Dragon Ball, come down here.
Yeah, make her do like a jump check or something. That's no way.
She's asking you to come
Come
down.
here.
Oh, so come down here.
Come down here. Dragon Ball.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Balasar, seeing you, ask you to come down. He's gonna be like, eyebrow raise and then kneel down.
Is he gonna say anything?
Oh, he's just kneeling down with his eyebrow raised.
The server is still going on at length about the various things you could find here.
I stopped listening halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna say, "Are you hungry?"
Why do you think I asked?
Yeah, she's gonna shove the berry into his mouth when he starts talking.
Okay.
I'll say make an attack roll.
With what?
She
Can
should
I
have
do
advantage.
Dex?
She should have advantage because I
Can I
didn't
have
expect.
Dex?
So praise.
Well, you are a ranger, so sure, you take advantage, I guess.
Oh, she didn't even need it.
Okay. Rose shoves a berry into your mouth.
Alright, then she's going to turn back to the innkeeper. Except for him, he's not hungry anymore.
So in the
Oh.
storm halls, you can find regular performances by our Guardian visitors. The loud, blustery kind, if you like that sort of thing. You know, tales of valor and battle and endless. Yes, can I help you?
Yeah, the lady wants food. She turns to Fira.
Fira just looks at Balasar and, does that work?
Yeah, it does, but
I don't feel hungry anymore, so I assume it does.
It-
Wasn't very satisfying though.
I'm sure I'll have
it's
what
good
he's
enough for
having.
you.
Fira will have what he's having.
Are you sure? I thought you probably deserve something tastier, but yeah, here. She gives a berry to her too.
Well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me as well.
Aww. Okay, she just nods.
Innkeeper,
Hope you enjoy it.
do you have any place for a bath or something like that?
Well, of course, travelers like to communal baths. Do you mind?
Not at all.
All right, the communal baths are down in deep hall area. Just go the other direction from the rooms, and he gives you directions on how to get around.
Nice.
But again,
Alright.
you can store your stuff in the storage area. But again, I emphasize, try not to wander beyond that, especially not when you're new.
Ah, noted.
Yes, yes, yes. Point us to our rooms, old man.
Okay, Rosa, make a perception check.
Okay. No, I see nothing.
What's your passive?
Passive is 16.
16. Okay. Right. He'll point you to your rooms. The rest of you, do you want a more traditional meal or is it going to be the berries?
I'll have a meal. Thank you.
Not
keep
needed
till morning.
anymore.
How about you? He looks at Rosa.
I'll keep till morning. What do you have for breakfast usually?
Well, standard adventurers fare. Most of them want to be quick on the get-go. Is porridge.
Oh,
That's the fast and simple. Others want some fruit in the mix, some oats, some biscuit, hardtack, and then there's the big breakfast. So,
yeah, breakfast sounds
we
good.
have some Elysian pears. We have his Guardian roast sausage. Yeah, that sort.
Yeah,
I think
I'll
you'll
wait for
like it.
breakfast. Thank you.
Guardian sausage.
It's good, I assure you. Well, perhaps in the morning then. Right, this way. Okay. What are you all putting in the storage?
But it's separate from our room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's downstairs. Yeah, it's like
Mm.
further in.
The storage is usually for like the bigger things that people don't want the rooms
Yeah.
with them.
Well,
I don't have anything
we
unwieldy.
don't really have anything that we haven't been lugging around anyway.
Yeah. You don't have things.
All right, then you can you bring all your stuff with you.
Yeah.
The room itself, it opens up. It's a large stone underground room. There's a boiler for coals to make heat and warmth. There's a wash basin. There's a chamber pot. Other than that, it's quite bare except for some rugs around. He tells you, so hammocks, bunker beds, beds. What's your fancy?
Anything will do.
Yeah.
Right.
Been a long day. Just want to rest.
Right,
you-
I'll tell them to get you some bed rolls then, and right, I'll catch you all later.
Thank
Danke.
you.
What was your name again, old man?
Oh, Rom.
Rom. Let me
Ron?
write that down. Rom. Like
Rom.
random old memories. Lol.
Random old man Rom.
I see.
Thanks for your help, and you talk too much. Let's go, guys.
Rom.
He just shrugs and continues on, seemingly unbothered by this. And you, lady, he indicates Alara. Let's see if we can get you a table.
Danke.
Do you mind sharing, or do you want the bath first, or whatever the case is?
I will have a bath first, but I don't mind sharing at all. I
Alright.
go to is there a place to store things while I'm having a bath, or do I have to keep my things with my companions?
Yeah, there's a place to store stuff, but like some people just prefer to leave things in your room.
Okay.
Mm. Wait, DM.
Yeah.
Since it's late-ish,
Yeah.
There's no one else in the entrance hall other than us, was there?
Okay. The first thing you notice is that time doesn't matter to Sigil people very much.
Okay.
Because it's dark now, so maybe they can't do certain activities outside, but indoors where there's lights and everything, like the party goes all around.
I see.
Like there are parties that look exhausted as if they've just been from a long place or that they're not talking. Others look fresh-faced. Some of them you can see their boots are still tracking mud or there's spits of snow on their heads and such.
Okay. I think Rose is going to ask Alara, since you're gonna go have a bath first, I think I'll join you.
That would be nice.
If you don't mind.
Of course. Come along.
I'm going to the storage area, DM.
Okay. Fira follows along.
Alright.
So we
Wait,
have a
we've seen our
bar.
room, right? Not yet.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have.
It has a simple lock as well.
Okay, gets the monkey's not cracking in, but I don't trust it anyway, so...
It's a
Okay,
simple
alright.
lock that you think anyone particularly determined would be able to get past it, but at least there's a lock there, you know. So if they get past and you brain their skull in, you can say they did something stupid.
Okay, got it.
Fair
So,
enough.
so Balazar and Fira make their way to the storage area, and Rose and I will go and have a bath.
Girl time.
Girl time! Oh my
Yes.
god!
Oh my
Fira don't want to
God.
join us. You don't want to ask Fira to join us?
You can
Oh,
ask Fira.
But Rose isn't gonna ask.
Fira, what's a bath?
Ah,
Oh dear.
Fira, in our society, usually we have
We
like we clean ourselves, the ablutions with water.
Oh, you jump into the sea. It's okay.
It's a little bit more
would you like to
comforting.
come in bath with us?
I suggest you join.
Rose asked. It might be a good experience.
Will that do anything?
It will clean you. It's been a long 3 days.
It'll feel good.
There's not a lot of water where we are from.
This
It's
will
disrespectful to clean yourself with water.
this will definitely be an experience for you.
Yeah, it's fine here. So come and join us.
Balasa, you want to come along?
No.
No.
Rose will say no.
Well, we cannot stop him from actually
He's having
sharing a
rough
public
day. I'll
bath.
stay around with him for a bit. We'll see how it goes.
It's a pity.
All right. You mentioned
right,
just now
sure.
that you were still quite thirsty. So
You
perhaps
drink from where you jump in?
no,
Don't
of
drink
course
the
not.
bath water.
But I could probably get you something from the kitchen, probably.
Is that where people bathe?
No, the bath is a completely separate place from the kitchen. Just
So you drink the water that you...
no.
I think I'll pass.
Sure. Right. I guess we should go.
Foreigners.
All right. Okay.
Goddamn fucking
Alara and
foreigners.
Rosa, the bedrolls come with some towels. Rom, as his name is, tells you that that's those the only ones you're getting for the night. So do take care of them. If there's damages, we'll want an explanation. Right. This carry on then.
An
So
explanation.
Alara and Rose head around to the communal baths where there's sounds of splashing. Okay, you can make out that there's a large circular pool of some kind that could probably accommodate as many as 30 individuals.
Nice.
You're not sure where the water comes from, but every now and then, like the water levels drop, and and it seems to be heated water.
Sweet.
Oh, it's gonna feel so good. So she just puts her stuff away in the
And
lockers
there's a
that
few
they give.
enterprising vendors around here who are selling soaps and other materials, if you like.
What other materials particularly?
Soap.
Okay, Alara, your mom warned you about such things. It's like it's all a fad. Seaweed won't make you look better. Mud won't improve your complexion. All that. But here they're selling like bath salts, seaweed, mud, and shells and other things that they claim are from God knows whatever names places are.
Ooh. Rose wants a mud soap.
If anything, she's just gonna buy some soap. That's it.
Okay,
How
soap
much is
two
the
copper
soap?
pieces.
2 copper pieces for
So
the
one
soap.
each. Two couple pieces each.
Rose's special mud soap is 3 copper pieces.
Oh,
Oh well. She looks at it in glee. Oh, it's a mud soap. This is so cool.
time out. So the room is 1 gold. Have we paid?
Who's paying for it?
I'll pay.
Okay.
1 GP for room.
Ron takes the gold piece and sort of bites it between his teeth before nodding to you. Right? You have your soap, you have your towels, and you're not the only ones in the pool. There's like a rowdier bunch going around making waves and splashing. Others just sitting by the side and there's
What?
some seem more interested. Some of them just sitting around more casually, and some might.
I think.
And others, you know, some others you notice have not bothered with a towel.
Okay, so we do not undress completely. We're still in the towel, so that's good. We're looking for maybe a more quiet part of the circular pool that's not so congested with moving water.
More with the people who are sitting around.
Yeah, the chill out people.
Okay, as in you can find a place that is less full, but then in general people can still see and everything.
That is fine, because it is a communal pool. And then I look at Rosa and I go, you know, I'm very appreciative of what you're doing, considering Balasar isn't the most likable person, and that trick with the berries does come in handy.
Oh. What does Rosa say?
Sorry, I missed it. Sorry.
Nah, she's thanking you for shoving food into the irritating lizard's mouth.
Okay. Well, you know, less money spent on him is better. By the way, I'll share the cost for the room. Later, I'll give you some silver.
Oh no, it's all right. Considering. Oh, suddenly Mary comes out. Anyway, no. wait.
Concentrate, guys. This is a heart-to-heart while you're naked inside a communal.
We're not naked. We have a towel on. Chill. Thank you. It's all right considering you're part of my crew.
Well then, I'll at least pay for your breakfast tomorrow.
Oh well.
Let's just rest tonight.
Yeah. And then she's sort of like, how clear is the water, or like, you know, or not clear?
Okay, Alara, because you are used to such things, the moment you step into the water, you're pretty sure that there's some kind of a artificial purification process going on.
Nice.
Like some of the, well, not everyone is particularly clean in this area, and you all are not particularly fragrant either, but the water seems to maintain some kind of at least pleasing appearance.
Then I settle into the water because it's comforting, and she hasn't been in any body of water for a really long time.
Yeah, Rose will soak next to her.
Yeah, you can sense undercurrents of some kind, so indicate some kind of recycling of water.
There are communal baths like this in Mitalgaring as well, right?
Yeah, but generally people have screens to separate genders.
Yeah, she'll say to Alara, back where I'm from, usually it's rude to bring the towel in. So it feels a bit weird right now.
Well, I don't know what the customs are here. So
I don't think I would want to let go of my towel here.
I agree. Personally, I have a problem with people looking at my, bits. But since we're here, everybody's jovial
There's
about
laughter and splashing around, and some people are not particularly taking concern of who might be looking at what.
Yeah. Well, at least it looks safe enough. That's good.
I start sudsing the soap.
One of them calls out to Alara. He said, "Hey lady, can you tell if anyone's pissed in here?"
Hell if I know. Place looks clean enough.
Rose makes a face at the thought of that. Please don't.
What does Alara do or say?
I said, hell if I know. Place looks clean enough, and I continue sudsing.
See, told you it's clear. Nothing's funny going on.
I watch if they drink the water. That's what I want to know.
No one does.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's, Rose is gonna say to Alara, I'm half glad that we're all sharing one room in a way, even with the Torokmal.
Well, if we can keep an eye on him, that would be always a bonus. At least Fira and you have him under control, which I'm very thankful about.
I doubt I'm doing much difference, but yeah, just so everyone goes along well.
Well, until Adam resurfaces.
At least he knows that he is to help us, in his own words. I'm glad enough to hear that.
I don't know if it's helping. So far, he's just been running his mouth.
Well, he has some firepower,
Well, you know what they say, keep your cannons somewhere else.
All right. Yeah.
So we wash, and then...
Okay. Rosa, at this point, like a server walks up to you, and she's a lady. She passes you a little drink with an umbrella in it, a paper umbrella in it.
Does it cost money out of character?
She says, compliments of the man over there.
Rose look where?
Where is the guy?
You look around at the further, not in the bath area. Well, like this is the circular area of the communal baths, and there are some areas further behind just for lounging and sitting around enjoying the heat. There's a man sitting there, watching you both, or rather watching Rose in particular. When Rose turns around, he
Oh my god! Rose has like
the server looks at you and says, do let us know if it becomes a bother.
Rose has like the most blank face ever as she looks at it. Then she quickly turns around to the server and says, "Wait, is this alcoholic?"
The server looks at it. Mildly. It hasn't been tampered with, if that was what you're worrying. It's from the kitchen.
Okay.
It's creepy. Okay. It's a creepy man.
She nods. Thank you. Tell the man I said thank you.
servant
Right.
goes over to him and he nods back and glances back at Rosa again.
She is torn between keeping her back to him or like watching out for him. But she's gonna keep her back to him first and like is there any place she can pour the water out and pretend she's drinking it?
Huh?
She's like, is there any hole like any like
It's a circular
drainage hole?
area.
No, like around the pools to keep the floor dry. Is there
No,
any
none of
drainage hole?
that. None of this is not a
Darn.
modern day swimming pool.
Okay, Rose is gonna turn to Alara. Do you want some?
You know, you can always
It's not been pampered with.
you can always reject a drink from a guy. It's okay. You're not expected to accept every gift.
She nods quietly. Then she's going to say, actually, yes, you're right. Never mind. Never mind. That's okay. That's fine.
Alternatively, you can pretend to drink it and then leave it at the side.
I can't. I.
For all you know, he's not.
So can I dump this into the pool?
You
Considering
can
how.
slay your plan.
No, Rose wouldn't do that. That would like dirty the whole pool water. She's in such pain right now. Okay, she's going to take. No, she's not gonna take a sip. She's going to pretend to take a sip and then put it on the pool.
Let's take a sip and then.
Deception?
She pretends to take a sip
Yeah.
and then put it at the poolside. And then she's going to tell Alara, we should leave.
Well, we should probably, but I would like to get these suds out of my hair. That seems.
Okay, come here. I'll wash it for you. And then she'll start washing Alara's hair.
Oh my
This is
god!
not my problem.
Like, she's like laughing like, oh, we're having so much fun.
Alara's just like super amused by this. Have you, Rosa, calm down, Rosa, stop! You're pulling my hair. Stop.
Okay, she goes, I'm sorry. Right.
Have you never been hit on?
I'll talk to you later, alright? I'll talk to you later.
Well,
We'll definitely talk later.
I would say relax a bit, considering whoever it is that decided to keep you, to give you a glass of water, you can always put it aside. Don't think about it. Don't give these people your headspace.
Okay, come, your hair, right? Come, let's wash it.
And she's like, no, it's okay. I'll do it. I can do it. What about you? Are you done?
Okay, Rose is going to go underwater for 3 seconds and then come out. Right, I'm done.
Alara chuckles. She's like, she just finishes washing up and then she's like, all right, let's go.
Okay.
Can I make a note, like a mental note of the guy that gave Rosa the drink so that, you know, we can avoid them? I mean, we can avoid him if he's at like the food place. Unless, you know, she doesn't tell it. Sorry?
He's still sitting there.
Yeah, he was still sitting there when you left.
As we walk out, just
Rose,
as we
Rose is
cross.
going to sigh as you guys get out of view of that place.
Okay, and she's going to pat Rosa on the shoulder and go, that was funny. Don't worry about it. Plus, we can avoid him if you want.
Let's go put on our clothes first.
You
Well,
do
and
that
she-
quickly.
Yes,
Yeah.
very quickly. very, very quickly.
It's so funny.
Very quickly.
That's
My
very
clothes
funny.
have never been on faster.
She just runs through the
my
clothes.
my clothes practically flew onto my body.
Just like general amusement
if,
from
if she
Alara.
has if she has mage hands, she would use them to continue dancing.
Okay. There are some ladies that do ask you if you want anything laundered.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
This is all that we have, kinda.
And then we make our way back to the room. Rosa, do you want to follow me to grab dinner? Although you might not eat anything.
Yes, I would like to spend more time with you, if you don't mind. I won't be eating though.
Sure. Perhaps we can pull the other two. Get them some
Yes,
drinks.
the more the merrier.
Okay. And we go to the other team.
Okay, I'll move over to the others. So Fira and Balasar head over to the storage.
Okay. I'm fine. Let out the last of it.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is that the storage is Fira, just take a step back because the way the storage is built reminds you a bit of the mortuary in the way that, slot in, slot out drawers kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fira says, I really hope there's no dead people in there.
This reminds you of that dome, that mortuary place, huh?
Ugh.
Well, it's all right. I go over to one of the drawers and just pull it out as hard as I can.
It's locked.
It's locked. Can I find one that's not? Like, can I pull a
Okay,
few that
testing around, you find an empty one, and it slides open quite easily.
But
it's empty.
Yeah, I pull it just to show Fira, see.
Well, it does have enough dimension for 2 corpses if you really wanted to measure it that way.
No, I just pull it out just to be like, no corpses here. Relax, and then I just slam it back in.
So, what did you want to store?
I didn't actually want to store anything. I wanted to open this, and I take out the parcel that. I have his name. Wait a minute. Where's his name?
Wait, whose name?
Oh, no, that's not his name. Oh, where's my notebooks everywhere right now? Zoltan. There you go. Right there next to Dark Enema. Right there next to Dark Enema. Yep. I opened the parcel that Zoltan gave me. What's inside?
Okay. The parcel itself is wrapped still. There's a letter on top though that you can read. Once you open up the letter, it says, "To whom this may concern, should you find this, assume the worst has come to pass. I urgently implore you to deliver this to a lady called Strader, whom you will find at the interplanar importers. She's the daughter of the sensate lady that runs the place." Do you catch that?
Yes, everything. All right.
Interplanar and importers. There's some vague directions to it, but it seems to be in the ladies' ward, not far from the city court.
Okay.
It's number 9 actually.
Oh. Okay. Number 9. Ladies' words. So that's like L9, right? Wait,
yeah.
Not L. It's the weird symbol thing.
Yeah.
Roger. Got it. Okay. So,
the package itself is still quite securely wrapped.
All right. If that's all it was, I put the package back, and then I I look to Fira and I go, "Do you want to explore what's beyond the storage area?"
Haven't you had a long day?
I know somebody who hasn't.
I just want to get some nap now, I think. I really don't
Alright.
want to tempt I don't really don't want to tempt fate a second time in the same day.
That sounds good. You're right. We should probably go get an early night's sleep. Didn't really need to accompany me here anyway, but thanks.
I suspected you might try something. You and Adam can divide the sleep. Doesn't mean the same for the rest.
Well, we're starting to work together. Just don't let anybody else know.
Like I tell them.
Gotta keep up the facade that
Okay, so do you head back to the rooms?
we head back to the rooms. Yeah.
You're definitely not the only ones moving around. There's still a lot of activity at this time, but the room itself is empty when you head in.
All right.
Apparently, the other two are still at the baths or such.
All right.
Bedrolls have been laid out for all of you.
All right. I just set my bedroll in the corner, and then I sit down, leaning on the bedroll, leaning against the wall, and then I look over to Fira and I go, "So, what do you make of everyone? We've been here what? A day?"
No one's dead yet. That's good.
You know, I don't really care if anyone likes me, but
You keep saying that.
they seem to have some sort of infatuation towards you. Maybe you should be a little friendlier and spend a little more time with them.
You're overthinking things. Oh, and if you see any rats, do shoot them. I don't want anything else happening again.
Will do. All right. Seems you're tired enough. How about you go to bed and I'll stay up for a little bit longer, at least till they come back. I'll keep watch.
Fira, as her custom, she sets her bedroll in a way that she's watching the door.
Okay. Ooh. Wow.
And she sort of dozes off.
All right.
Yes.
I pretend like I'm sleeping in the corner of the room. That's what I do.
Okay. The others still haven't come back yet. They must be enjoying themselves.
All right. I wait a good 20, 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll move over to the others then.
Yeah.
Okay, Rosa and Alara. You head upstairs to the entrance area where the dining tables are set and such. Or not so much a dining tables. Sturdy furniture that you can appreciate, metal legs. And well, the rowdy crowd is still there. Rom sort of goes around, sees if there's a place to put you. And then there's a spot with a bunch of halflings in animated discussion. But okay, Rosa, you're more used to the halflings being small and as such trying to be shy and avoid noises and all these. These halflings have like wilder markings on them that remind you of the Turokmal in some way. Except you've never seen a Turokmal halfling before, up close anyway. And this bunch is they're making a lot of noise for their sizes. Ron goes, mind if they join you? Sure, come in. There are 4 halflings that turn to take note of you at the moment. 3 of them are male. We said yes the first time. Come on. Okay, these 4 halflings seem to be talking about hunting, a lot of hunting. Huh? They're not even talking about money. The first, there are several inferences you can draw. The first is they're definitely not primes. Like they talk quite casually about beasts in other places. That one was bigger over there. And yes, but the other one, you could harvest more from it. And yes, that stuff has been, they talk about various properties and such. Properties of the beasts. Some of them they grin and you see their teeth are slightly filed to be more pointed. And then this seems to be all in good spot to them. They do mention though that well, if you those pieces, no one eats them. You can always sell them down to the what was that long name hidden thing again? You catch some reference made to the Mephites that was selling exotic meats at some point. That one buys anything. I haven't figured out what to do with the coin though. You can save it for a bigger wagon.
What was that? No?
She can't unmute for some reason.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's possibly because her surrounding is noisy, not because of a mechanical issue.
Type it out.
Oh no, it is a mechanical issue.
Refresh.
Okay.
Refresh. Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay.
I minimized it too small. Right. So anyway, you're eating, right?
Yeah, so I'm just eating the food.
Okay. Rose is gonna make a look around and see if the guy is there.
Are you looking for that man?
She's there.
Perception.
Perception check.
Dear God.
Oh my god.
I don't want to die
down and around, and you don't see him, but you've certainly attracted the attention of the 4 halflings in your place now. It's like, hey, are you trying to imitate one of those long-necked birds of the prairies or something?
I sort of choke on a piece of bread.
She's going to look at them like confused, like what? Oh yeah, right. That's right. I'm those bird thing, long neck bird thing, and then she's gonna look around
to make the noises as well. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, ooh, right.
I'm trying really hard to continue eating.
Your throat more. You see, they're drawing you into this.
No, please leave me alone. She's going to look at them like, Are they all men?
There's 3 males and 1 female.
Okay. She's going to shoot a glance at the female, looking like, please make them stop.
The female looks at you and like gives a little beaming smile with some teeth missing and not.
No, help me.
The female pushes some of her plate over and you can see there's like meat on it.
Yes?
You need to eat more.
Oh, well, I just had something just now. I'm fine right now. Thank you so much.
You need to eat more. Hips not right.
Okay. Are there any peas or like small vegetables on her plate?
It's meat. In fact, they're eating mainly meat.
Okay. Okay. Is there like a small can she cut a small bit, just a small side bit?
There's no cutlery.
Oh dear. What's Alara eating with?
I have a mess kit, yo.
Can I borrow it?
I give you a spoon.
Okay, she's going to try to use a spoon to cut the meat. Like, can she cut the meat with her spoon?
You try to saw at it with the spoon, and then the female helpfully like makes a motion of picking it up, like holds up hands helpfully to indicate that you should pick this up and bite.
Has she taken a bite of the meat?
Well, people have definitely taken bites out of the meat.
Okay. Well, okay, she's just going to gingerly pick it up and bite the part that she was trying to saw off. It's like she'll chew it slowly. Says thank you.
Okay.
Put it back down.
I have a giant shit-eating grin on my face right now.
Right, you take a bite and pass it back. You can make out more markings on the halflings and such, Rosa. So you've been with them for a bit of time now. You can make an Arcana check for the plates.
Arcana. Oh, that rolls. Just that one roll against Balasar.
Right. You have, you think you may have heard these sort of halflings been mentioned before, but only in passing. Anyway, you've heard these halflings been mentioned somewhere, but only in passing. So that's about all you know.
But what was the name?
You're not sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
they do continue to their business after after the amusement is passed over, and like now the topic is moved on to imitating various animal noises since it was brought up.
Okay. She's gonna sigh, and she's gonna look at Alara. Is she done yet?
Should be, right? Like it's been what, like 10 minutes of
Alara
laughing.
can be done.
Yeah.
Is Alara a slow eater?
No, not at all. It's like it's the army, man. Who eats slowly?
All right. The food here for Alara is going for what kind of a meal? Poor, simple, common, or like above average, and so on and so forth.
Simple.
Okay, simple will be just 2 silver pieces.
And
there are several cuts of meat and a bit of potatoes and vegetables in between, and some other vegetables that you can't quite identify.
Okay. And I bring sort of like my water pouch to refill.
Yeah, they refill that for free.
Okay. 2 SP. Okay. All good. So we make it back to the room and we go to sleep.
Right. Balasa, you hear them returning when the door turns.
I go from... I pretend to sleep for a while, but after they've settled down, I'm actually going... Like, I'm going to sleep against the wall like that. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Oh, and I put my water skin next to Fira.
You all open the door and come in, and as the door opens, you see Fira open her eyes. Then she glances at the two of you, then closes them again.
Yep, all good.
Huh? We're sleeping on bedrolls, right?
Yes, bedrolls.
Okay.
Okay, so night.
Yes.
Rose is going to pull her bedroll like right next to Alara's. Like they were practically overlapping by an inch.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Can
like,
I sleep next to you? Is that okay? Or like maybe like can I just sleep in your bedroll with you? Maybe that's better.
you know, perhaps your bedroll can be next to mine. I don't mind that, but this is a very small bedroll. So, again, don't worry.
So the room. Okay, imagine the state of Texas, and then Rose just pulled up next to Alara and said, "Is this seat taken?"
Oh, it's broke back.
Breakfast.
It's broke back.
It's more like, this
Like
girl.
when all the
To-
urinals are there.
To me,
and
it's
the
more
person
like
wants to use
this.
the one next to yours.
It's like this little
shit.
girl is so freaked out by the guy buying her a drink. She's like, it's okay.
No. Oh,
It's okay. We creepers happen all the time.
Okay.
Now we sleep.
All right. So everyone goes to rest.
No,
Prison
but
team.
before Rose sleep. Well, yeah, never mind. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. She's going to sing that to herself. Only a day away.
Perempuan ni dah gila. Okay.
We move on to Verity and Haze.
Okay.
You return to the prison, unaware of all of this going on.
Oh, thank God, you're blessed.
Understandably.
Okay, let's see.
What does Zagao turn into when he say he can turn small?
Okay, if
A smaller hill.
Chibi hellhound. Oh my God, it's so cute.
Hellhound.
Why?
give me a moment. Music.
Music? This one. Okay.
He's like, permission to head round the bend and change.
Verity will
Haze
say,
will nod.
sure, go ahead.
Okay, he pops around for a bit. And after a while, a man emerges, like clad in armor, looking slightly worn and torn.
What?
Reporting for duty. Does this work out for you?
Verity looks at him closely and saying, I mean, that's much better.
Like his
Didn't I-
eyes still glow red, similar to a hellhound's, and there's a definite heat around him that more so than usual from the others. But well, with a bit of shaving and cleaning, he could probably even look presentable. Right now, he looks a bit like a grizzled mercenary of some kind.
We'll have to get you clean up tomorrow. But yes, I could try to find you a place to stay in prison tonight. I mean, you're not a criminal. Don't worry. Just accommodation.
The Mercy Killers aren't really known for letting non-faction members bunk around unless you have connections.
Well, I do know a friend. I could ask him. If worst comes to worst, I'll bring you to the Harmonium City Barracks.
Right. Are you just heading to the prison, or do you want to do anything else?
Communication in the prison.
Now, if we go to prison now without Sayo, is a bit difficult, right?
Yeah.
I guess since it's gonna
Oh,
take some
okay.
time to get here, might as well go to the nearest place to have some meal. Where's the...
Do we know if if Sagal is familiar with Sigil, or does he just go in and out?
Well, we can just ask. Verity asked Sagal. So have you been to Siju? A lot. Are you familiar with Siju?
Most folks are. I mean, this is the middle of the whole multiverse and all that. Makes sense, no?
All right. That's good. So we'll just have a little meal until my friend arrives, and then we'll sort out some of the accommodations for the day, because investigations and stuff. So we go to the nearest place.
Not exactly near, but Ladies Ward number 2, there's a place called a Liberty Hall Tavern. Oh, but that's quite far actually.
That's quite far.
Yeah, but that's usually the Harmonium hangout area for food and all that. Number 25 has a bakery.
Me?
Ladies Ward number 25 has a bakery.
Yeah, so
Now,
I was like, the bakery maybe.
I don't have these source books, so if it later turns out to be some kind of a plot trap or whatever, like, I will make it up as I go.
No, that is fine. We just go to the bakery, it's the nearest.
Wow,
place
even has a
anyway.
cake symbol with like candles and all
Yeah.
that.
Cake?
I was like, what? Yeah. We'll just go to the bakery. It's nearest to the prison anyway. It's like right next to it.
Okay, you head over to Geldop's bakery.
Yep.
And at this time of the night, the operations aren't running much anymore, but they're selling off the unsold bread and loaves at a
For
discount.
sale! Yes! Discount bread! Cheap bread. Alright.
The best bread.
2 copper pieces per loaf.
Okay. Gonna spend my 1 silver and break it apart and get like 4 loaves.
Okay.
He gave
we have
2.
gotten our stuff back from the prison.
Your gopher?
I presume you grabbed your stuff when, like, I mean, you didn't even put your stuff down.
Yeah, we didn't even put our stuff down. We were just like.
So I still have the gopher with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Verity is excited about cheap bread.
That's how I survive, man. In UK.
It's actually
Cheap
like
bread.
proper, like legit.
Bread crusts.
No, because if not, they throw it away. So you just wait.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, they give it to you for free.
All right.
Anyway. Okay. He'll give. Okay. He'll get 6 loaf.
Yeah.
So that's like this. Okay.
Do you want more?
I mean, he bought 6. He's like, we'll come back for more if we need any. Is there like tables and chairs to sit down?
It's a bakery, not exactly a sit-down eat place, so people just tend to grab and go on a run. This is a long advocate's role, so you imagine that all the lawyers and clerks and government servants, all that will be quickly moving forward and everything.
No, I mean, usually some of the bakery have like a chair.
Like this is not a patisserie kind of thing. This is like a grab and go quickly.
Okay, so we'll just grab the bread and stand around, I guess.
The advocate's role is quite empty at this time of night.
Yep.
It's not too far away from the courthouse.
He gives 2 loaves to Haze, then he gives 2 loaves to Sagal, and he asks Sagal, "Is this enough for you? I could get more if you're still hungry."
I'll make do. And thank you for not braining me back there.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, what do you mean by You can return to the infernal plane?
Uh, uh, can we talk about something else?
Alright, well, maybe when you're ready to talk again. But how long have you been working for the directors?
Uh, not that long. Maybe a year or two.
Alright. And then Verity eats, munches bread.
How? The helmet on?
No, he's just gonna open his visor and just eat.
As you lift your helmet, you notice Saga trying to take a peek under.
He's just gonna munch on his bread.
Oh, okay. Asimar. Right, that figures.
Well, you'll be working with us for a while, tracking down the imp and Governor Navarre.
Sure, let me know where to start.
Yeah, we'll begin tomorrow. But for now, just make yourselves comfortable, I guess. Then he continues eating his bread. Nom nom nom. Hey, is got anything to talk to the guy? Verity asks.
Haze eats his
Particular.
bread. What? Sorry. Haze
Not in
digs-
particular.
Nom nom nom. We are just enjoying the
Hayes
view.
wants to find a yes.
Saga speaks after what?
and
So,
a suit
how are you
to
two
slaughter.
find each other? Sorry, what do you say? Haze?
Hayes would like to find a suitable place to slaughter the gopher and convert it into meat.
Is there a certain place?
And
No,
then,
I mean like this.
and then if
People in Seagull aren't going to be particular if you kill a gopher here.
Just do it.
oh,
You're
but,
in front
like,
of the
not in a bakery, right?
Well, I mean, you're in
Oh.
front. You're along prison row. If you stuck a corpse up here on a pole, people wouldn't really look at it twice either.
Verity would just
I
tell his
see.
just find a discreet corner to do it. We don't want to
Yes.
yeah.
You like to kill and skin the gopher and portion the meat for later use.
It's a gopher, so it doesn't have a lot of meat.
Should have enough to make like
2 portions for Haze. That's about it.
yeah, something like that.
The gopher has fallen asleep. After like a whole day of panicking and all that, it just resigned itself into sleep.
Yay!
Now it did.
Yes.
Okay, so Haze goes to do gopher business, is it?
Yes.
Sargal left low with Verity. So, how did you end up working with one of Amro folk?
Oh, well, it's a long story. There was an expedition and I met Hayes and yes, then Verity throws off. Maybe a story to tell another day.
All right.
No, tell him the story.
Huh?
Story for a story?
Anything I should
You
know?
should totes tell him the story.
Fine, okay then.
Anything I should know? Cause I haven't been in Sigil for a bit, so I really won't want to lose my head or anything.
Well, just to keep you up to date, there were some ship incident recently. And the factions are not that peaceful at the moment.
Were they ever at peace?
Somewhat, but recently not so much. A bit of an unrest. The fated
Sagal sort of reaches into his reaches and produces a little notepad, and he starts writing things down.
the fated wasn't really happy about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess otherwise it's quite normal. Yes, we did met the Cadix yesterday. That was one thing. The Cadix is no more. Yeah,
What?
the the Cadix is no more.
You fought it?
Well, me and the ones that you see with me, they fought the Cadix. I assisted and
You beat it?
yeah, we did
How?
with a lot of help.
He adds some scribbling to his notes and steps back, expression changing slightly as he looks over you all again. Okay. Really thank you for not braining me.
It's alright. I apologize for attacking you first. I wasn't really in good mind at the time.
It's a bit quieter when Haze returns. And then finally you hear the familiar sounds of armor running very quickly over. Verity.
The justice arrives.
Verity.
Oh, Justice says. So sorry you came all the way here. This is
How many Cadixes this time?
not really. We found the directors who were doing experiments. I think we should talk about this in a
Right.
more
Doing as in done, finished, moved on?
What did he ask?
Doing, I think you mean done, right? Finished?
It was still ongoing until I call halt on it.
He blinks a bit and let's talk about this somewhere else.
Yes, and this is Sagal.
So, he turns to look at Sagal and leaning in. Sagal sort of manages a salute back. But you notice in the case of Sagal has a way of tending to back down when looked at, but when Sayo leans in, Sagal maintains his ground here.
Oh,
Explain yourself. I'm helping Harmonium officer here. That's all I'm told. Verity? Who's this?
this is the messenger, the runner, a hellhound.
Right, indoors then. Come on, all of you. He brings you into the prison, and in short order, Arya is stabled away.
Yep.
Arya is stabled away, and the three of you. This time, Sile opens the door, checks in to make sure there are no gnomes standing there.
Okay.
He also checks with the receptionist that no gnomes have been spotted around of a particular description.
Okay.
Then he closes the door behind and locks it. Right. How much do you tell him, Verity?
Everything that we've seen since the portal. Yep, basically. Verity doesn't hide stuff from Style.
Verity, I have no idea how you're not promoted yet. Why do these things keep happening? All right, let's see. So you're giving these experimental reports to Factal Marlin?
Yes, and a copy to Factor Sarin as well.
All right, Verity, I think I'm only saying this because we are acquainted with each other, but you would do well to carefully consider what's going on and the implications of this. There is a good chance that your faction and mine may view things a bit differently.
What would the Mercy Killer view?
Well, first thing is, the Mercy Killers, as far as we are concerned, the experiment ended. We kept our side of the bargain, which is we stopped sending prisoners. Well, we stopped sending death row prisoners.
That was how many years ago?
4 or 5.
Hmm.
So, as far as it's concerned, we have legally ended our part of the contract. But you're telling us that 2 Harmonium officers were carrying on. Do you see where this is heading?
But they did not receive the word.
Have you tried explaining extenuating circumstances to a Mercy Killer? Well, not me, but your faction could be in a lot of trouble.
Yes, I do understand.
Your factol could be in a lot of trouble.
That's why I would like to give the documents to Factor Sarin first.
Bio frowns at this thing. Any idea why they wanted to give it to Factal Marlin?
They wanted it to be a sort of proof of what they are doing could help the prisoners. And their progress seems to work.
Right, Verity, have you taken a look at the reports? I'm guessing not in detail.
I just got it. And yes.
All right, let's take a look together. This is quite important.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Haze, do you have anything to say?
This one he has been thorough with his report. To add.
And is there
Really
any
didn't
reason...
leave out anything, did he?
And is there any reason this Sargal should be here listening to all of this?
Not in particular. This one will so as to see he does not go missing.
Yes, could we get him a room for tonight? At least he is one of our important lead.
Right, we'll get him a nice, secure room. Hey up. Sargal looks up. All right, I know when I'm not wanted.
Come, this one will show you to your quarters.
No need for that. He gets a Mercy Killer to show Sargal off to a nice, comfy little cell.
Cool.
Right. Now that it's all the 3 of you, then he goes over the notes again. Factor Marlin is a no-nonsense individual. If you end up talking to him, which I don't recommend, you would have do well to have your words prepared. And you may want to consider exactly what laws were broken to help your case, because there seems to be a lot of technicalities in this particular one.
I would like to read the Memorandum of Agreement.
makes sense. And also the whole bit with extenuating circumstances. The governors will not budge unless a law has been explicitly broken. And the mercy killers will take action quite easily if they feel that justice has been compromised. I believe that we should not take matters into our own hands if we can help it. The orders should be in the clear. And now the reports, he opens them out looking. The first thing that strikes me is these are written in a technical fashion.
Yes.
It seems that they wanted to emphasize on the potential and experimental turnout, and this is a logical appeal. I can see why they would want to give it to Fractal Marlin.
It's written specifically for Marlin's eyes.
Oh, no, not specifically. But, well, logical, theoretical, procedural. The governors would understand this. Marlin would understand this. But I understand that your Fractal is less on the logical side of things. No offense meant.
Mm. Well,
Verity, from what you know is that Fractal Sarin tends to be a fairly humble, level-headed individual, but at the perception of great wrongs and such, he can go off his handle.
okay.
So usually he's pretty calm until sometimes he just blows up.
Like he has a very strong sense of right and wrong,
Mm-hmm.
which does not necessarily coincide with the mercy killer's vision of like justice and injustice.
Well, fair enough.
Before I give these to anyone, I will have to have a read on the memorandum and all this stuff.
Memorandum should be in should be in the hands of either our Fractal or yours and the governors.
To access that means I will have to expose this to them.
You'll have to ask them, at least give them a reason to show it.
Which will lead to this, I think. Or perhaps
Verity,
it's
I
for the
don't envy your
investigation.
position right now. This is a very tricky situation.
I will have to consider.
Or if you want to take the neutral route, you can show it to the governors.
Well, I have to consider.
What does the demand we do? Haze will ask Sile.
What does the what?
What does the justice recommend we do?
Well, okay, as a mercy killer, I think Marlin should see this at top priority. From the viewpoint that you are a Harmonium officer, you will be expected to demonstrate loyalty to Sarin. And from a perspective of trying to minimize emotional and otherwise fallouts, the governors are the most impassive and neutral lot.
Haze, one appreciates your objectivity. And then Haze will turn to Verity. And sort of in an expecting face, like Verity will have a decision of what will be done.
I have my judgment, but I'm
Can we-
unsure.
Well, how about we hear that judgment?
I believe that whatever directors are doing, even if they come with good intentions, the execution is wrong. As much as I would like to give mercy to them, what they're doing is unforgivable.
if you were brought forth to court to give testimony, where would you direct the primary source of blame?
Verity takes a while to think.
There are a lot of elements in this case. I need some time to sort this out. I can't give you the answer right now.
This one believes the directors were operating under the assumption that it was supported by their factals. This one believes the blame falls upon the governor that failed to inform them that the experiments were to be stopped.
I'll just look up at this, and there seems to be a bit more energy there. Yes, that could work actually. I mean, from the pure science of justice, if we want to find a culprit, we want to have the facts checked as closely as possible, have the guilty parties gathered, and between you and me, Verity, if the governors were held blame, it would be less problematic for our respective actions.
Yes, Governor Navarre left them without telling them anything about stopping the experiment. That's why I was taken aback. I was really quite angered at some point.
Well, where's Governor Navarre now?
He was saying that he went to Mechanus, but I'm not sure where he is exactly right now.
Well, come morning, I suppose. If you're busy, come morning, I could personally head over to the city court and ask them to make contact with him, see where his whereabouts are.
And Zagao, the Hellhound, knows where Governor Navarre's house is.
Oh, that's even better.
But we have to go through a lot of red tape.
Oh, damn it. Any idea if his house is in Sigil?
I'm pretty sure it is not. From what Zagao is saying, it's...
The Hellhound.
Right, if it's not in Sigil, oh, I hate this. Then, at the very least, we'll need the governors to have their signature on this to indicate that we have permission to speak to one of the heirs and that they're obligated to respond cordially, that sort of business.
I guess a trip to the governors tomorrow then. And it appears the source of, the imp or the merchant that was selling the portal keys.
Yes.
It was from one of the directors, as I told you. And we have to track the imp down because he has no control over the imp.
Dust man, you say?
Yes.
We can just shoot the imp, it's a familiar.
If we can find it.
All right.
And Sagao can help with that as well.
What exactly is Sagao?
He is a hellhound, but...
that explains the smell.
But, there is something a bit strange about him.
That one appears to be an aberration.
What?
Usually, when we dispatch of these hellhounds, they go back to the infernal planes. But according to him, if we do that, he just dies. He is disconnected from the plane.
Interesting. There aren't many reasons that sort of thing happens.
Do you know the reason?
Well, one possibility is some fiends fall so far out of favor with the hells that they're not wanted back anymore. Political exiles is also a thing. Disfavored in general. Treason. Well, that the kind of treason that the fiends don't like, that sort. going against their nature, but that one's pretty rare. I doubt it. Well, the first assumption is if it doesn't want to be back in hell, it's probably not welcome there. And if it's not welcome there, it's probably done something to make it not welcome.
All right. Well, he wasn't ready to talk about it just now, so I didn't want to question further. But yes, that is Sagal. He will be helping us at this point in time.
Well, good to know that you can just threaten to whack him if anything goes wrong. He still looks pretty injured to me, but when he starts recovering, which should take longer than the usual, connections broken, all that, you might want to keep an eye on him. A healthy fiend tends to think differently from an injured one at mercy.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Sam.
Anything else, officer?
He looks as I wanted to say something and then say,
No, that's all. Good night, Justice.
And you too, Officer Verity. Oh God. It seems not too long ago I was complaining. I was mentioning that you had very few aspirations for promotion, but things are certainly speeding up.
Not,
How are you finding all of this?
to be honest, it's not expected at all.
Well, not expected, yes, but are you welcoming it or the opposite?
I am not sure. Perhaps yes, perhaps.
I can be sure, I can tell you this. If Factal Sarin or Factal Malin asks you, it better be a yes or no.
It will have to be a yes.
Take care, Verity. We are stepping into very dangerous ground here.
I thank you
Haze,
for your advice.
anything to report?
Hayes will recount his memory of events that have passed. Actually, this one did remember sighting the strange gnome outside of Alicia's pantry.
You did?
The morning after. Indeed. It was surveying the destruction caused by the Kadiks. Checking to see if the lost primes were moving any.
Whereabouts of lost primes? It was following you.
What was that?
It was following you?
Which lost primes?
The gnome. It was following the block.
Believes that to be the case.
This is concerning. Did you speak to it? Did you learn anything new?
It was not forthcoming with information, and was not behaving in such a way that this one would be justified in attacking it.
You
and
have a
placing
name.
it under arrest. No.
So we just have a description, but no name or anything else.
A description and certain behavior. This one also did note that it seemed to have a greater ability to see in the dark than most gnomes do. Perhaps it is a shapeshifter of sorts.
Plenty of shapeshifters around the cage, wouldn't be surprised. Plenty of casters too. Portals aren't something a non-caster can play around with.
And he has access to portals within Sigil.
Yes.
He is nods.
Okay, guys, I just want to say this. Just adjusting a bit of canon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in this particular game campaign canon, people can open and close portals within and from Sigil. But if the lady of pain doesn't like it, something will happen.
So she allows
I
it.
think
Understandable.
in the canon material, say no one can open or close portals and all that.
Yep.
But I kept seeing so many
Okay.
exceptions and weird things. So here it's like people can do that, but if there's an objection, they'll learn about it very quickly.
Okay, so do it at your own risk kind of
All
thing.
right.
Yeah. And if like nothing happens the first time, you
Yes.
don't know about the second time either and all that. So people still don't avoid doing it. They can.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Gnomes. Say, it just crossed my mind, but that blue thing with you lot, have you figured out anything new about it?
Well, after we went into the plane, we didn't see it anymore.
It did not follow us through the portal.
You dropped it?
We are not sure, but we can't find it anymore.
Rose did not mention seeing it after we departed. Where it ended up is unknown.
Strange.
I'm
Well, I hope it
wondering
wasn't stolen.
I'm wondering if it could still be in the plane that we came from. Oh, yeah.
Unlikely.
Is it valuable?
It has some connections to the Chaos Man.
The lost one that looks after it has received many offers to purchase the creature. This one believes it is valuable.
This is Sigil. No one tries something like that for no reason. And have you shown it to any others so far?
We've shown it to the Portuguese seller.
Aluvius Ruskin?
Yes.
Well,
Then
that's a good place to start searching, I suppose.
she wanted to offer a high price for it, but Adam, of course, he wouldn't let her.
Also, be careful about where you get your information from in the hive.
Well,
He nods.
yes.
All right, then. Anything else?
Now, Verity puts out a hand towards Sayo.
Oh,
Which
is
hand?
there a communal kitchen here in the prisons?
Sorry, which hand is very...
Right hand.
Sai also reaches out his hand for a shake. Assuming it's a shake.
Yep. And then give him a little like hug and then says,
Thank you for the good work, Saya. It's reassuring to have you around.
Take care, Verity. I will do what I can to help whenever I can. And Haze, what was that about a pigeon? Haze?
A kitchen.
A kitchen.
A kitchen.
You cook for the harmonium, don't you?
He nods.
I asked that you don't cook anything for the Mercy Killers. That's not in the authorization.
He nods. This one wishes to prepare something for myself.
And then later on, Verity gets a gopher burrito.
no.
All right, Haze, right, just wash up when you're done.
Understood. And his pies. Yay, gopher pies.
Yay.
Best.
Okay. Also, Sahil might not be in the right state of mind at the moment because it's actually quite a serious thing to let someone else into your kitchen, your faction head kitchen. But I guess you trust Haze.
Yes.
Well,
He's
or he gave a
most
hug.
trustworthy.
All right. Anything else for the night?
No, I guess
That's
Verity
it.
will actually spend the entire night trying to read the documents. All of it.
Okay, the thankful thing is that they're written by Harmonia members, so you do not like die of boredom within the first 3 paragraphs of a governor writing. Okay, but okay, the main thing you gather is that okay, it states that Governor Navarre taught them how the operations were done as a QA/QC sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As supervisors, they have to be familiar with the process to at least know that the governor is doing it correctly and consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And well, while they let's see, so the process was shared. There were some notes taken on the prisoners and which were the more problematic ones that probably should be worked on first if possible. And then there's some talk about, and then there's a mention of Governor Navarre's departure at some point, presumably to pursue reports and communications with Sigil.
Mm-hmm.
At which point, Harvest and Tomoska compare their notes and realize that the procedures are flawed,
Oh.
or at least horribly inefficient in some methods. In the idea is correct, but like it would seem that they are more well versed in this sort of thing by innate ability. And so curiosity led to one thing, and they started trying to find a way they could improve it so they could bring it up with the governor when he came back.
But he never did.
Yeah. And after a while, they decided that they should have some results to justify this modification of procedure. There should be some testing, and things sort of escalated from there.
Okay.
Is there anything particular that Verity wants to search for among test reports?
So, in the entire time, they're just doing it to show results if Governor Navarre came back.
Yeah, but after all, it seems that the joy of discovery also took a part over because their first attempt was a great success, and so after that they tried to tweak and go on for it and so on and so forth. Like it describes in quite a great detail, like managed to cure cannibalistic tendencies. Deep misanthropy was found to be associated with such energy. Clinical conditions, that would be multiple personalities, and so like they're drawing some kind of a cause and effect between certain types of energy spectrums and what it results in that particular case of a criminal.
So, did they say anything about how to dispose of the failed experiments?
The failed experiments, it would seem that since this is the body of a dead god, it quite easily takes in the failed ones, and it finds that after a while they assimilate into the plane without harmlessly, and it can be contained here.
Okay.
It would appear that they were unaware of Zoltan's opening and closing of portals, which may have caused some to escape out.
I see. So, because of him, Zoltan doing all the whole portal thing, the corpses were dumped out or something?
Corpses fell out.
Ah.
However, if not for Zoltan doing this, you may not even have been aware that the experiment was still going on either, and so forth.
Yeah, they could be doing that forever and ever. But they stopped
Also
having...
accurate.
They
But wait,
stopped having...
where did the people come from?
Yeah, they stopped having people coming in, right? At some point?
they do have a note of it when things start coming in, and they took it as the sign that the mercy killers are finally running out of death row prisoners. Things are looking up.
When was like the
Okay.
last intake? Is it there? Like, is it in the records?
I don't think they
It's a
know.
bit difficult to note time down since they seem to put it in batch cycles and all that.
Yeah. I don't think they know what's the time as
Mhm.
in
Well,
comparison.
what we can do is we can identify the last batch because they'll probably have the subjects' names, right?
Yeah, then we
And
can
then
check in the
cross-reference
prison.
that with the prison.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point you noted. You noted yourself. Also, one thing from the experimental notes is that the energy they remove from the prisoners that they subject the experiments to can't be just destroyed, and there were concerns about just simply releasing it into the body of a presumably dead god.
That is a risky move.
So instead, they've been taking it into themselves.
Oh.
The way the experiment reports it is that there's no progress without sacrifice, and if there's to be sacrifice, it should be on those willing to proceed with it.
Okay. So that's why they are all like filled with radiant energy and the negative energy. So they say they are willing to sacrifice themselves for the thingy experiment.
We'll save as many as we can. Fortunately, the number seems to be dwindling. We may be getting somewhere.
But they don't know what to do with the ones that were successful as well. How did they live in that plane for so long?
Okay, there's notes about as the body of a dead god and such. They found that certain materials can be cultivated from it. Certain essence, in fact. But they also note the strange properties of this plane, which seems to reduce the need to eat and sleep and all such physical functions. It is, after all, like the dead book of the gods, this astral realm.
So they've been living on this essence things? I heard there were like some vines and stuff like that, right?
They describe it as a modification of razor vine, which seems to take easily to the soil here of some kind. And it's edible in some quantities, but just a little bit is enough to keep them going for a while.
Okay, interesting. They modified razor vine.
Well, it wasn't much of a modification. They kind of like brought some samples here and plopped it down, and it started growing, it seems. But it's definitely changed.
So it changed by itself.
It has adapted.
Yeah, razor vine is one of the toughest things out there.
Ooh, Haze should eat it.
What? Adapt. Get +2 attack.
What?
The rattle summon 2/1/1 plants.
But anyway, okay, so he's reading this and reading
What
that.
else is Verity looking for?
Let's see. Haze, do you have anything you want to look up?
We have the governor's last report, like his last appearance there, and then from that and the prison records, we can identify when that was roughly.
Yeah, the last batch of the criminals.
All right. You can do that in the morning.
What else? What else do we need for investigation? Anything about them being anchored and cannot leave the plane?
It wasn't mentioned in test reports.
It's like they actually can leave the plane, but they chose not to, and they didn't.
Sorry?
And they didn't think to communicate outside.
It doesn't seem like they can leave the plane themselves.
And also, they didn't think to communicate with people outside themselves since they have
But if you were to
control
put
on
it
the
as-
planes.
but if you were to put it that way, then things do look a bit bad.
Like they're happily doing the experiments, and when Neva didn't come back for a while, they didn't think to communicate or try to speak to people about
Yeah.
it.
That way,
Do they
that's
have
quite bad.
do they have a like a statement of what they thought
Okay, there's a
happened?
there's a mention of that part, and they were saying he's probably caught up in his own work again.
Okay. I guess the idea is they lost track of time because they're in a timeless place.
Mm. But that doesn't excuse them
Valid.
from being a bit like, you know,
It's like they're in a place with no watches, guys. No clocks, no
it's like
days.
you still want to check in with people, you know. So I don't think that's an excuse.
Like it's probably like, oh okay, it's probably been like a couple of weeks when actually it's been like a year.
I mean,
No,
if,
they did
if
say
you,
it's a long time.
yeah, if you look at the kind of work they
Oh.
do based on how many people they get through during the experiments, it should tell them how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, and then when Verity asked them how long do they feel they have been in there, very long, and they still didn't communicate with people outside. So in that sense, I think it's pretty bad on Harmonium's side. If we bring it to court, which is, I mean, Verity is not trying to be biased. He still thinks that they are in the wrong. So here have to have a look at the memorandum and
Okay.
see how it goes.
Anything else about the reports?
That,
Like,
What else important? Nothing. Then we just head to bed.
well, Verity is not interested in the alchemical parts, right?
Not really, unless there is something important that I should know about the alchemical parts. Like what is that missing eye thing? Is that what's supposed to happen?
Missing eyes?
Yeah, like
why are they all missing their eyeballs?
yeah.
There's no mention of missing eyes in the reports.
Huh. Well, when Hayes showed them the minor illusion of the corpses, right?
Mhm.
They didn't say anything.
This one I can't quite recall what they say.
They
No,
can...
I think they said it looked like failed experiments. I don't think they give it further thought.
Yeah, because we just sort of asked like, oh, are these like
Yeah, these
these
the
from
experiments.
and then they're like, you know what, they could be. And we're like, okay, so we found where they come from.
Yeah. So there were no mention about removing eyes.
Are there any mentions of the random primes that got supposedly transported there via the imps, the zigzags keys? Like we had a few names. Like are do those names appear?
You have
in
a
the
few
records?
names. You look through these test reports. They're not exactly the most up to date because like these were when the batches were big and everything.
Ah, okay.
But the names you see, the names of those corpses that you think you identified, you don't see them in here.
Okay, but these are clearly not like the most up to date, so they could be in other reports. That should be something that we bring up. Because those people were probably lost and they should not have been experimented upon. You know,
Well, they didn't know as well.
exactly. But you know, like you'd think they'd be like, hey, are you guys death row inmates? And they're like,
No.
who are you?
Yeah, like shouldn't they start being a bit like curious or suspicious about stuff?
Yes, so that can be something that we bring up.
Bring up to who?
Not everybody's curious. Some people are like, I don't give a fuck.
Have we decided? Are we like which factor are we going to show first, or are we gonna try to have a
Well,
call for a
Verity.
meeting with all three and be like,
Verity
With
wanted to
all,
speak to all
big
three of
names
them, but I don't think that's a good idea because they could easily be facing off.
against each other. Not
So
wrong, but maybe that is the best thing to do.
I know for a fact that Sarin might explode, or like Malin will be like, yeah.
There's always
the
the
thing
option
is-
of bringing it to the governor first.
Okay, so the thing is, Verity wants the directors, even Zoltan and Governor Navarre, to be responsible and be punished for what they have done. But the people that they
Understandable.
experimented on and succeeded should not be involved in the whole fiasco. He wants to like relocate them somewhere else.
Yes, because those people are essentially like new people.
Yeah. But not, I mean, Factor Malin will not accept that. They're like, well, they are still death row inmate. They're not pardoned. They are still gonna die if they come back to Sigil. So best way is to relocate them somewhere.
Okay, we go sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
With a lot of thoughts, we go to sleep.
All right.
Oh.
So Hayes has a lot more in his mind now than just gopher pie.
Gopher pie is still important. This does not. Yeah.
Supersede Gopher Pie.
Yeah, we have to shut down this operation like officially. Go there, get three of them together, or four of them together, and say, "This operation is off."
We're shutting you down.
Yeah.
All right. You all have a good night's rest.
Yay!
Yes. Without incident.
Give me them key points.
Well, I mean, because Balasa didn't get one in the middle of the night and sneak off past the storage
Thank
point or something.
God, if he did, we'll be like, Gib!
If Hayes were there, he would have gone past the storage point with him to hunt for food.
But then that's Sigil, so it's okay.
Yes, it's like, oh yes, you want to go adventuring? I will go adventuring with you. It is enjoyable. Come.
Even in
Hello,
the middle of the
Mr.
night,
But
you're
if
gonna
he-
sleep.
Brother bonding time.
If he went alone, it'd be like, Asuka lah.
Okay, let me think. Right, in the morning, let's move to the 12 Factals group.
Okay,
Morning comes. Or at least you're not sure if it's morning since you're all deep and down underground, but there's the ringing of the breakfast bell.
Okay, who wakes up, Balazar or Adam?
Adam.
Theory confirmed. Alara would like to speak with Adam
Okay.
over, I don't know, food or something.
Fira is Adam, wake up.
Yeah.
We're back in Sigil, new in place stone. They jump in water instead of drinking it here. and
Oh,
other
that's
strange things.
disgusting.
Yes. Room all to ourselves.
Okay.
I can't find Newt. That's
Wait, what happened to Newt? Oh God.
and other things first. She looks like she wants to fill you in.
Yeah. Usually you
Alara,
fill me
go
in,
ahead.
but
I didn't understand anything much of what was going on.
yeah, all right, it's fine. Usually you fill me in when I get a blackout, but it's all right.
Maybe
Alara?
good to
So I
call
hear-
the others to help.
Yeah, so I hear this and I sit down because everybody's still on the floor, right? Nobody's like stood up yet.
Get rolls and all that.
Yeah, he's in
Okay,
the corner. He's just gonna
so
lean against the wall.
she- So you're standing up or like sitting down?
He's leaning against the wall, looking for Newt in his backpack and his scarf and all kinds of places.
She
And his
crouches
pants.
at the like in front of him and goes, "What do you remember from yesterday?"
Well, You guys told me not to touch anything, so I didn't.
But that's fair. Congratulations. Uh, have you consolidated yourself with Balasar?
Well, there wasn't much to talk about.
You seem
I
to have.
don't actually know what happened yesterday, but usually Fira fills me in on the stuff that happens. What happened? And where's Newt? What happened to him?
Mira sighs. Alara, I have no idea where to begin telling him about the strange place. You do that.
Well, after you've given your reins to Balasar, we opened the portal. Actually, Balasar opened the portal by stabbing himself.
Okay.
We went to a different plane,
Wow.
and thankfully we didn't get into that much of a fight. We brought back
He's
a
writing this down.
hellhound.
A hellhound?
Yeah.
Damn, I missed out on a lot of interesting things.
It's
What
not cute, Adam. You don't want to adopt it.
No, I don't adopt everything I see, okay? But continue.
By that time I've stopped sort of like popping a squat. I'm actually sitting down with my legs crossed now,
Okay.
and I'm looking at him.
Yeah, he just has a book and a pencil in his hand.
Like with like furrowed eyebrows, going, I'm curious, Adam. What is your thought process when you've given up your reins to Balasar, especially knowing the fact that you don't remember anything?
Well, see, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not as tough as he is. I'm a lot smarter, I guess. He doesn't read and write as good as I do. He can though. He's pretty smart still.
As part of the crew, I need you to understand that you may not feel like you're not as tough, but you should know that you probably are.
You don't need to sugarcoat it or anything. Like, I know I'm not as tough as he is. Fira could kick my ass any day of the week. We actually have a score. I turn to a page and it has like a tally, and there's like A and F inside the page with like a lot of like, you know, those 1 1 1 1, like 4 and then a cross to make it 5. My column is empty, and then there's about like 137 on Fira's side. This is how many times we've fought, and I haven't won a single time. So
I don't know why you bother keeping track, Adam.
it's fun. I like writing things. But yeah, you don't need to sugarcoat it. I know I'm not as strong as Balasar.
Okay, not sugarcoating, but everybody has their strong suit. If I had a reading competition between you and Fira right now, who'd win?
Definitely me. She can't read or write.
Exactly.
Actually, the whole nation, probably I'm one of the only outliers.
Diplomacy-wise, who would win? Possibly.
Well, you need to remember, I'm not as old or as experienced as you guys are, so I have a fighting chance. But
And that fighting chance is something I need you to rest on, because you have to remember that you're not in Turukmal anymore. Things don't function the same way everywhere else as in Turukmal.
I'm pretty surprisingly, I'm actually pretty well versed in the other land's culture.
That's good.
I think. I hope. Yes.
Well,
You guys have
perhaps-
slavery and slavers in where was it? Vithalarano? I have trouble saying your.
Vithalanos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys have-
we're not actually the most perfect, but you have to remember we function.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting anything, but right now, you are a part of my crew.
Okay.
You have to remember that. And if you give reins to somebody that doesn't give you an insight on what you're doing, you're setting yourself back a lot. Because if anything happens and you take charge of the situation, somebody can turn that around and beat your ass with it.
I don't follow.
You make grand gestures about taking it upon yourself if something bad happens, if be it Ballister, be it Newt. But what if something does and you didn't cause that problem? That's what I want you to remember, because you're still my crew, and if anything happens, I have to answer for your questionable acts, or Ballister's, or Newt's, or whoever. But you have to understand that you need to know why certain things happen.
All right. Yeah, I understand. Like, it might seem like an empty promise coming from a kid or I don't know how you guys see me or anything. Maybe you guys hate me, maybe you don't. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to be the best me I can be, and I'm not gonna go back on my word, or at the very least, I'm gonna try my best not to. Like, I'll carry my weight.
Adam, you used the word try about 3 times in that sentence.
I will attempt to try my very best. Shit, I said try again. I'm gonna do my very best. There you go.
Have yourself open communications with Ballister.
I
At
mean,
least you won't need any of us to fill you in. Because any of us, if anything happens, can simply give you a lie.
we're working on it. It's not like he didn't tell me anything. I have to do something today, which is surprising.
Well,
He told me to do something today, something about meeting someone. But that's besides the point. He'll come around. He's still getting used to the fact that we're talking in our sleep.
that's very good to know. Between the two of you, I don't need to know about it. Also, another thing, if you realize, Rosa and I actually smells like flowers, and
Oh, yeah.
both of you do not. So, do you understand the concept of baths?
Oh, see, I do know what baths are, and I think it's really disrespectful. But I do understand you guys don't have the same living conditions as we do. You see, we have very scarce water up in the north, and any water we have is for consumption. You guys basically put it on your bodies. That's like, you need to put yourself into like I have the perspective of like a Vitalinos person. Like, okay, a summon undead, yes, disturbing them, oh, totally fine. They're slaves. But like, to me, that's like a bit
I'm
disturbing.
going to go upstairs and get breakfast.
Will do, Fira. I'll join you in a bit. But see, look.
Rose is going to finally get up from her bedroll, gonna go up to Adam and say, Adam, whatever water that is here, you can't bring it back to Torma.
He's still going on his tangent as you're saying
Adam,
that.
she's gonna take out the book that he gave, the small notebook that he gave him, and she's gonna smack it on his head.
Okay, good. So he's doing this.
And
You're doing
said-
this as he's like explaining. He's like,
Yes.
so you see, like if
She's
you were
gonna
to
smack it on his head.
like so disrespect. Ow!
Look,
Look,
Rosa is.
I've written notes of what happened yesterday. You can read it up. But I arrived there later than they did, so it might be a bit lacking. But take a read of whatever note is in here. So she passes the notebook back to Adam, and then she's
Okay.
gonna say again, Adam, have you heard of the saying, when in Sardati, do as the Sardatis do?
I have
Sedantes
actually.
Rose.
Yes.
Or
Rose,
whatever.
Rose, and well, none of you have ever heard that because no one ever talks
Yes.
about being in
But she's gonna
Sedante.
say that anyway.
I have some knowledge of Sir Dante.
She's not gonna say do as the Viv do. But yeah, she's gonna say that.
I that's a new saying. I haven't heard of it before, but
Well, do it.
you're telling me to basically be a non-arc person, a sigil person.
Okay, look here, Adam. That's a reason why we bathe. All right. Sometimes it's to keep clean. Sometimes to cool us down. Okay, we don't just take the water and like completely do nonsense with it. So for you to speak that way, it also insults the people who bathe.
No, I completely understand. Look,
Yes.
I
if
stand up.
if you
So
want me to
let's
take a
just keep
shower,
this.
I will bring Fira and I will bring Fira and we will have a bath.
Do you
Okay?
want to do that?
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
can
so
do
when he says that, I stand up, put a hand on his head because now he's sitting down, so I can do that.
Yeah, I'm
And then I
sitting down,
go, have a bath. Teach Fira how to have a bath,
Okay.
Yes, go and do that.
and don't depend on other people to give you news. That's all I ask. And then I go out and go for breakfast.
Sure, no problem.
Well, before,
And
yeah, and
and and as you're walking away, he just says this like offhandedly. He's like, "Oh, and you're right. You guys do smell amazing, like flowers." Yes,
okay.
Rose.
So you're not leaving yet, right?
Oh no, you gave me the books. I always do like morning writings and readings.
Okay. So before Alara leaves, she's going to pull Alara to the side,
Oh, okay.
a bit far away from where Adam was.
Adam's in the corner of the room. He
We
won't.
we
look
can
there,
we
'cause
can
that's
go
where Mr.
outside
She's
if
gonna
you
stop,
want.
she's gonna stop Alara near the door.
Yeah.
Alara, I need to talk to you a second.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking about it the whole night. Well, not really the entire night, but yes, now that I have a bit more of a peace of mind, I want to talk to you for a second before we go down. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So I think we should sit down a bit. Oh, there's no chair. Is there any chairs around here?
No, just the floor.
We can pop a squat, you know.
Okay, let's pop a squat.
So we both sit down on the
Okay.
floor.
Okay, and she is going to talk softly. Yesterday I received a drink from a man,
Yeah.
right? I know that man.
You know him?
That is not a good man.
How do you know this?
Well, a few years ago when I was more naive, I got into trouble with some people. It's more relating to my teacher. You remember my teacher?
Mm-hmm. The one on the ship.
No, do you remember my teacher? She's just gonna say that.
Out of character. The teacher is which one?
The teacher is
Sarmia, right? Okay, yeah. Just double checking.
Yeah.
Alara
Do you
knows this,
remember
but
my
Shad
teacher?
doesn't. Yeah. Sarmia, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
She is constantly on the run from people, and these people were looking for her.
Ah. So
Yes,
they
because I
recognized
did not know. Because I did not know better, I was helping them, and they almost whisked me away to another plane. If it wasn't for the Master Wanderer saving me.
Hmm. Are there
So-
more of them that you recognize?
There was. I only saw him yesterday. None of his friends. Not that I remember the rest of them, but he was the main guy. He was the boss.
Do you feel okay with sharing this information with Fira
I
and Adam?
Rosa, are you keeping this information away from Adam?
Yes, I'm telling this to
Alara?
Alara first.
Okay, then only Alara hears this.
Yes, she's speaking very quietly. Yes, and then she says, I was not in the right mind enough to tell you yesterday, but I think in hindsight, well, thankfully nothing happened in the night. But if I had told all of you yesterday, it might have caused a ruckus, especially while us are around.
Good call.
So I'm sorry for keeping the information until now.
No, drama can do things like that. My question is, do you want to share this information with the rest of the crew for safety reasons?
She glances over at Adam. Yeah, I
He's-
think. Yeah,
He's about finished with the book, and he's like closing it when you glance over.
Then Rose nods. Yeah. Yes, I think we should. We should. I should tell. We should tell the rest for safety reasons because right before we left, well, on the day of the choosing, my teacher did tell me that they were looking for her again, and he has seen me now.
Well, safety in numbers. Is
Yes.
there anything in particular that we have to watch out for?
She thinks for a while. Well, I guess we just need to keep together for now. I'm so sorry to be imposing this danger on you guys.
No, I think that if we know as a collective, as a team, we might be able to circumvent it better. Perhaps after breakfast, when we come back in to clean up and before we check out, we can have a little group meeting and you can tell the rest.
All right, that would be good. Thank you, Alara.
And then I look at Adam. Are you ready?
He's walking over. Rose, here's your book. Here's your book back.
Thank you. She receives the book back from him.
Yeah. Tell me if you ever opened the book.
No, okay.
Now we
Did
go
you jinx it?
upstairs. Jinx? That's
Yeah, did you
bad.
curse the book?
I didn't curse the book. I put a little spell on it though.
Jahanpo.
Oh, yeah.
What is
Oh,
this? Okay, so
I didn't put the spell on it. Just let me know.
Okay.
so we go upstairs, we meet Fira up, and then we take, I guess, like the fruit.
You open the door and Fira's on the way down already, wiping herself outside. Oh, breakfast pretty good.
How'd you afford breakfast?
I told them to send the bill here.
It's okay. I'll take care of the breakfast bill. Just eat up.
I
All
know.
right. Okay. Thanks, Rose.
At least it's
Fine.
you and not Balasar.
Oh, by the way, Fira.
Yeah?
Uh,
Are you all still talking? There's
no.
eating to
We're
be
we're done talking.
Right,
You-
there's eating. Go ahead, eat.
I'll eat a little later. We gotta do something.
No, eat.
Listen to me.
Let's
we
go,
gotta do
Rosa.
something.
Food.
I know it's food. The food
Adam,
is.
these people have food on their tables.
I know
Fira.
they have food on their table, Fira. But listen, look. The food's not gonna go
And
anywhere.
they don't have to walk out the backyard and shoot it first.
Yeah, and we don't have to skin it either, right? And it's amazing. Or clean it or gut it. But look, Fira, listen. And I put my hand on her shoulder. I'm going to give you one of the weirdest experiences of your life. Are you ready?
No.
Okay, good. Come with me. And I walk towards the where
She holds her ground. Adam, yesterday as Balasar, you poked yourself in the middle, and then we all got to a strange place that I didn't think was your stomach, but looked very strange.
wasn't my stomach. Yes, it was strange. Continue.
and then there was sand that made noises when you stepped on it, and then you fell in, and we thought we'd never see you again.
It's not a very fond memory, I presume. But continue.
So, should I bring my bow and arrow?
No. This is
Actually,
a
I'm
different.
going to bring my bow and arrow anyway.
Okay, fair, fine. Just follow me, okay?
Wait, does Adam know where the bathhouse is?
He's going to look for it. He doesn't know where it is.
If he asks, you know, either Alara and Rosa will take you guys there before we go and eat food.
No,
We
he's
kind of
gonna be
really
like,
want you to have a bath.
Rose is gonna give them like 4.
Oh yeah, and no, we give the leftover soap, like, use this.
Okay, yeah, we give leftovers.
It's just, and she motions like you put it in the water, and then you rub your hands.
Kira sniffs at it.
Okay, rub.
Is this safe to eat?
Don't
It's
eat
it's
it.
not food.
It's
Yeah,
for, it's
not-
for outside. It's for your skin. It makes you smell nice.
I'll teach you everything. Let's go, Fira. Let's go.
I look at Adam and I go, good luck.
Rose is going.
He has that kind of face. There.
Rose looks at Alara. Is he really gonna give her a rub down?
We'll see. If they're as familiar as we think they are.
Okay. It's weird.
All right, Alara and Rose head up, where breakfast is being doled out in significant quantities. And there's something for everyone, it seems.
And how much is the breakfast total for 4 people?
The big one is 4 silver each.
Which I presume is what Fira ate.
Is that what Fira ate?
Yep.
We'll go for the normal
Adam
one.
hasn't eaten, right?
Nope.
Is there like a buffet kind of thing? No. Everything is by
Well,
order.
you can have more portions and all that.
And she'll have something small. She'll have
same.
some meat, some fruits, and some bread.
Same.
Simple will be 2 silver pieces. Big is 4 silver.
All right, so that's 8. What is Adam gonna eat?
Adam's not gonna eat yet. I mean, like,
Good.
Adam's going for a bath.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. She's gonna pay for everyone except for Adam's, because she's not sure if Adam has what
Okay.
looks like empanadas.
Rosa, as you're going around all that, out of the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse.
Oh. Oh no!
Do I see this?
Well,
No! What
Yes.
do I?
the person from yesterday, the man from yesterday at the bathing pool side is walking forward to Rose. His hands are empty and he's fairly casual about it.
Oh, she's gonna freeze up.
I'm gonna push Rose to the front of me, so even if he passes by, I'll sort of shuffle her around.
Okay, so you're hiding Rosa behind you, is it?
I mean, I'm doing it as if we're having a conversation. So it's more like, you know, blah 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 blah, push to the side, blah 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 while walking.
Okay.
What do you mean walking? Because you're kind of sitting down when there's food.
Oh,
and
we're
all that.
eating. Oh, we're eating already.
Looking around. I thought you meant we were walking and
Yeah,
looking
I
around.
thought we were still.
No.
Sitting.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, yeah, we're fine. I look at her. I look at her and then I sort of get it. Like, okay, she's freaked out. And then I smile. And I sort of like mouth relax.
Rose gives her like a very awkward, half-frozen green smile. Like,
Right? The man sort of stops nearby you all. There are no seats available, so he doesn't try to take one. He does look at he nods towards Alara, inclining his head more towards her, and then nods again to Rosa.
Rose
I
gives the same frozen
I look at him and I go, the person who bought Rosa the drinks.
Thank you.
To what do we owe this honor?
I did not expect to see you here.
Introductions?
You may call me Nazukal, but Naz will do.
Nas. Okay.
Rose is gonna say hello. She's gonna keep to like one word.
I see my presence is discomforting to you, so I'll keep this short.
Okay.
You do not know where your teacher is, do you?
No.
I have an idea of where.
Okay.
And if I'm correct, she's in quite a bit of trouble. Perhaps
Okay.
we might help each other.
Oh no. Yeah, that's the last thing she's gonna say. Oh no.
Nazokal.
Perhaps we could help each other.
Yeah, then she's gonna say, oh no.
But what's in it for you?
I have been searching for that lady for a while.
For what purpose?
She has answers that she has yet to give.
Well, we're not exactly in a trusting position, so to speak.
But those who are holding her may very well demand the answers soon enough.
I know. Rose starts like looking around her to see if she has anything that can help her. I don't know to even do what. It's like, oh no. She's in trouble.
And how do we know you're actually telling the truth? For example.
She will know. He looks towards Rosa and nods. I'm not one to lie.
I look at Rosa.
Regardless, you have some time to think about this. Get back to me when you do.
And how do we contact you?
I believe one of you can issue a sending, or for simpler measures, I tend to have a contact in this particular location. He motions to the building around him.
You seem to know a lot about our whereabouts and what one of us can do or do not. Have you been following us?
I've heard tales of a ship crash landing and its inhabitants demonstrating extreme martial prowess. I have not been tracking the lot of you, but Rosa I recognize. One conclusion leads to another.
She
You
gives
have my
every
respect.
laugh again.
Well, personally, I don't trust you,
Of course.
but
You'll be foolish.
perhaps a gesture of goodwill. Maybe you know a particular small gnome, and then I start explaining the gnome that was following us the other day to the guy, and then I go, maybe you can
That
find
one.
information about this creature.
That would be one of the runners.
The one that has her teacher?
That would be one of the runners of some of the big movers in Sigil.
These are words that I am not familiar with.
You might be better off not knowing their names, but suffice to say they have significant economic power, some measure of political power, and very much amount of mercantile power. If one of their runners is following you, it can be assumed that they have taken personal interest in you, or perhaps what you're doing, or something you have.
Okay, then Rose is suddenly gonna say, oh, then it's good that I didn't shoot him. And then she realizes she's talking to him, and she's being quiet again.
I doubt shooting them would have killed one. They're more resourceful than that. But yes, all the same, best to avoid angering them.
I see. Well,
Rose nods and say, we'll think about it. Thank you. Thank you, Nazgul.
Don't take too long in making your choice.
what kind of time do we have?
I'm not sure, but the anarchists are not very patient people.
Do I sort of are the anarchists the Chaos Sex?
No.
No, they're
Anarchists are the Revolutionary League,
Oh,
and
okay.
Verity's pamphlet on you should have like harmonium,
enemy number one.
something along that lines. Like if the harmonium has a red chalk, it'll be all over that faction.
It should be
Whoa.
over that and the fated, right? It's like
No, the fated are legal people.
okay.
The anarchists or Revolutionary League are legal, literally anti-establishment.
Like
As
Yeah.
far as harmonium is concerned.
Yeah, punk rock music to the popos.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, your gesture of goodwill has been accepted. Although this is really up to the small one.
Now I must be elsewhere. Good luck. And he turns to leave.
Good day. I look at Rose and I'm like, he seems forthcoming.
I don't dare to trust him again, but she's wise. I don't know what to do.
Well, perhaps this is something that we should discuss with Adam and Fira.
All right, and we'll cut for tonight.
Yay!
So shocked.
What?
That was most enjoyable.
That was fun though.
What?
Oh, Rose and Elara.
What?
So
That was
funny.
fucking
But
funny.
we're about to fuck up some
Unexpected.
anarchists.
No.
No, you were about to have a bath.
Yes, and then
You're gonna have a bath.
Shira down.
I have pies, yay!
Yay!
Best day
And,
ever.
and with that,
Bye, Gopher.
we are going to say goodbye to everybody who's watching, or anybody who's watching, and we will see you guys next week on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank
Tuesday?
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, Tuesday.
Ciao.
Bye.
Tuesday is okay for all of you, right? Next week?
Yeah, is the
Yeah.
day.
Work on
Okay.
scheduling.
Yes.
Tuesday.
works.
Yeah.
All right.
And with that, bye everyone.
Bye. All right.